Welcome, Cinepals. I'm Jaby Kristen, joined by Kristen STEPHENSONPINO.
Hello.
We are watching Belfast. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube with us, you'll see a cut-down version of our reaction because we can only show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. But if you want to watch the whole thing with us, no cuts, no interruptions, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabyKoei, or become a member of this channel where you'll get access to the full uncut reaction, but you will need your own HBO Max subscription or copy of the film. We're watching it through HBO Max, so you can open up the movie in an adjacent window to our reaction. We'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync, and it'll be like you're watching with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go.
Your tea's ready!
Buddy, your ma's calling you for your tea.
Thanks, Mrs. Kavanagh.
She says it's tripe and onions.
She did not.
In a sandwich.
Not. She says you're a terrible man.
That's right.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
So witty.
Kids say the
and
darndest
cheeky.
things.
Oh. That startled me. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. This started off as a regular plain old day and within seconds.
Paddy Kavanagh told me as long as Catholics keep confessing everything bad that they do to a priest, I've had too much God for one day.
Well, your granny says you can never have too much God.
That's cute.
Was that our side that done all that to them Catholic houses in our street, Daddy?
There is no our side and their side in our street. It's all bloody religion. That's the problem.
Then why are you sending us to church? If we were Catholics, we could not go to church. And then they'd have to tell us we were forgiven and we wouldn't have to go in again for ages.
The way his little mind works.
Protestants, you will die.
Oh.
Agonizingly. And where will you go when you shuffle off this pestilential mortal coil? Where?
Intense.
I'm sorry.
I've never been to Protestant Mass.
I have.
I've only been to Catholic Mass.
Which road will you take? No, money.
Thanks very much.
Is this what it's like in Protestant Mass?
No!
It might have been like that back in the day, though.
Maybe back in the day, but no, it's not like that nowadays.
Are you a Protestant or a Catholic? It's a trick question, you see, because they don't tell you what they are. And what do you say then? To not get a dig in the gob?
I'm a Catholic.
Wrong. They think you're trying to bluff them, but you have to double bluff them.
How?
You say, I'm a Protestant.
But I am a Protestant.
That's the point!
Blanchflower is now at the house.
The
He's
kid.
stressing.
Perfect through ball!
Oh no.
Nice pass, son. Would you go on away and tell your pa I'd like to have a wee chat with him, please? Tell him it's Billy Clanton.
I'm MacLeod.
A little chat, are we?
You saw what happened to your neighbours from the other side. Touch my family and I'll kill you.
Things get out of hand pretty quick around these parts. Cash or commitment?
Cash or commitment?
Cleaned up your street. They've made me their new local chief. So, you can report to me with either.
I'll be in touch.
That is a real ominous shot.
There's a few men hiding behind them barricades.
And they'll keep hiding where they're afraid for their families. It's a waiting game now.
No wonder you brought us to this.
Yeah.
It's educational for the boys.
Educational.
This is the time to think about making a new start. We can give these boys a better chance than we ever had. We're living in a civil war. And I'm not here to protect my family.
What are those supposed to be?
An
Canada.
escape route.
This is what I would do if I was trying to protect my family. Just get out. Take them somewhere else.
Oh, 100%.
And the rest of you will view your Sisyphean struggles from the distance you have imposed upon yourself by a lack of application. With 72% in bronze is Buddy, seat 3. And Catherine with the gold yet again this week. Congratulations, Catherine. Very well done.
That's kind of an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
The wee girl's still showing some interest, yeah.
She looks at me sometimes. But we're not allowed to talk in the class. And then when we go out to the playground, she always goes off with the other girls. Anyways, I think she loves that other fella.
You don't know that. You really like her?
When I grow up, I want to marry her.
Wow.
Oh, sweet little baby.
Here, take this 3-penny bit. Get yourself a wee sweetie.
Thanks, Granny.
Try and find out how that wee girl thinks.
Oh, good luck with that one, son.
Being creepy. It's only cute because he's small.
It's true. Oh, poor baby. He's stressing.
Do you want to join a gang?
I'm not allowed.
Why not?
My mother said she'd kill me.
I thought it was really cute when he was like, if only she was stupider like me, we'd be sitting next to each other.
I think my dad wants us to leave Belfast. Every night, before I go to sleep, and then I also ask him as well, that when I grow up, can I marry Catherine? Even if she loves Ronnie Boyd.
He's so cute. I can't take it.
All right, Mummy. Why do you always get sad when a letter comes?
She just said, what have I done?
For which this once, in lieu of your intensified efforts, we will be willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. But you have improved your score. So, in second position is Body.
Is he going to take her spot?
Nope. He gets to sit next to her.
Are you sure?
I think so. Yep. He gets to sit next to her.
Oh! But I told you.
Look, poor, he's so bummed.
But she's closer to him now, right?
But I think she deliberately did worse, trying to get next to him. Oh my God! They both did the opposite.
Thank you. Thanks. Well done on your maths. Thanks. Have you gone to the moon yet? Do you want to? With me?
Oh!
It'll save you getting cold waiting outside our house.
Oh!
Hey, Romeo, come on. We have work to do.
Oh, that's cute.
Steal the chocolate. It's simple. We go into the shop and keep Mr. Singh talking down by the fridge.
I don't want lifted by the police.
All right, all clear.
Okay.
Mr. Singh. Indian guy?
Buddy, good to see you.
Please may I have a lemon mivvy?
Lemon Mivvy, coming right up. Just need to move a few wee boxes. Hey! Come here, you wee buggers. I know who you are.
I know who you are.
That's all I could see.
Turkish Delight. Who the hell eats Turkish Delight? Do you eat Turkish Delight?
No, I don't like it.
Nobody likes it.
It's all I had.
Are you blind?
I had to think quickly.
I knew it was the last one because for 3 bloody years I've been counting them envelopes coming through that door and there wasn't so much as a thank you with this one. That's it. You're done. You're in the clear.
So what'd you say to them in your letter?
And that they acknowledged that everything was shipshape and above board. And that my family's good name wasn't on some credit risk list.
Christ a night.
What?
They've decided, thanks to acting on your request, they've decided to go back further into my accounts and say that I owe another £572, which basically...
What the fuck?
Daddy, are we gonna have to leave Belfast?
Oh, as a kid, that's the worst. Especially when you got a crush on a girl. It's like, no! No, I should love my life.
We're gonna leave.
There seems to be a wee bit of confusion about something that happened at Mr. Singh's.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Going to prison?
A very serious crime has been committed down in Mr. Singh's shop. You know
They
what I'm
know
talking
it.
about?
Oh, it's not what he thinks. Oh, it is what he thinks. The cop is just giving him a hard time.
Yep.
I will do.
Scaring
Like a
him.
man in a uniform. Was he in there long?
Oh,
Apples will grow again. Should they grow in a gooseberry tree?
I didn't even eat the chocolate.
I didn't even can't eat the chocolate.
The aunties were
Insinuate.
they were gossiping,
Yeah.
saying that she was sleeping with him.
Yep.
Do you know where that is? Sydney. Moving over there for a wee while.
You're joking.
It's just down the side a wee bit.
It's 10,500 miles, right? School you two. Now,
Why is she so against it?
we might as well be going to the moon if we went down there.
Sure, you've already family there.
1 second, cousin.
And you have the phone.
A millionaire to pay the bills?
We could take trips back.
And pay for it with what? Scotch mist?
Family could come over for holidays.
There's no one from around here can afford the fare to go down there. Or the time off work, if they had any work.
So she doesn't want to be apart from her family.
This is our home.
Yeah. I can understand both of their perspectives. He's trying to protect his family and get away from all this chaos, and she doesn't want to
Leave the family.
leave family. It's like that's a tough position.
How could I leave Belfast?
I wouldn't worry about it. The Irish were born for leaving. Otherwise, the rest of the world would have no pubs. All the Irish need to survive is a phone, a Guinness, and the sheet music to Danny Boy.
Lila, can I ask you a question?
What?
What did you do with the money?
What money?
The money your ma gave you for singing lessons?
Jimmy said he'd drive me to the hospital in the morning.
No, and I told him he would not. And when they're done, you can be bloody sure I'm walking you back out again. I'm walking you home.
I want to love like that.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like making my heart hurt. I'm like, I love it.
It's extinct.
This family's not going to get another chance like that in this town. Not now.
Here, watch out for that traffic there.
I'm watching it now, Mommy. It's okay.
God, these decisions are so hard.
They can play wherever the hell they like. Because everybody knows them. Everybody likes them and everybody looks after them.
She loves the community.
And you think they're going to welcome us with open arms? Or and say, come on in. Well done for stealing the house off of us.
You need to decide by Christmas.
You're coming back. Aren't you, Daddy?
You look after your mummy.
Oh.
Be good.
Oh, he's leaving.
Right, off we go. Alder Grove Airport, ladies and gents.
So he's going to go no matter what.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
it seems like.
Yeah, that's the impression
That's
I'm
like-
getting.
He's out.
I can imagine how hard that is to like imagine leaving something like that tight community.
I'm a
No, as a
gypsy.
kid, I kind of had it with my neighborhood. And there,
Okay, neighborhood in Japan. Yeah, I had that
there's
there.
something special about that. You
But
when's he coming back?
At the weekend. We're going to the pictures. He's taking us to Titty Titty Bang Bang.
What in the name of God is that?
It's a flying car.
Oh God, I've heard it all.
It goes over a cliff.
I thought he said Teddy Bang Bang. He said Chitty Chitty.
Yeah. Even the granny.
Movies used to affect us in a different way, man.
But Mum and I want to talk to you about something.
Oh no.
Something that we might have to do as a family.
Okay.
You know the way your dad's over in England? And he's been working over there for quite a while. Well, we were thinking that, maybe we'd all go as a family and go live there.
He's got to say goodbye to that girl.
His grandma and grandpa.
And I don't have to talk, buddy. And I don't want to forget what Vern have to go down with him dead.
No one's asking. No decision's been made yet. No, we were just.
I did not see that coming.
First, you're just overtired.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't want to leave Belfast.
Oh man,
That'd be rough.
it's such a shitty
I've never
feeling.
even had a option, I don't know. My family moved around so much; it was never like, "Hey, we're gonna move." It's they just start packing up, and we were like, "Oh, time to move."
No, I remember when we moved from Eagle Rock to North Hollywood. I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I had to say goodbye to my classmates. Basically, they didn't even know I was leaving.
What's going on in your comic?
We have to defeat the monsters. What?
Oh.
They're my chips.
What's yours is mine, and what's mine's my own.
Granny says it. What does that even mean?
You'll find out.
Right, wee fella, you did well for not grassing us to the police. So you're in.
What do you mean?
You're one of us now, and this is it.
This is what?
This is war.
Come on. What? He's...
Whatever the hell we want.
I think you're roped into that.
Oh my gosh. Grabbed a box of cereal.
Here, what the hell's Kate's going on?
Mommy, we're late in the supermarket.
Where did you get that?
I told you, we're late in the supermarket.
You're what? Why did you take that washing powder?
It's biological.
She brought him back to put it back.
Woman, we don't put things back. That's not the statement we're trying to make. Benny, come on. Jeremy, you're coming. Come on. Out. Come on, get out. Come on.
That dude.
Drop it.
That dude.
Dude.
Ugh.
She's trying to set an example and he's just being a...
Time to get out of here. Don't try it. So you two are going to guarantee safe passage for me and my men. You try to run, I'll put a bullet in your son's head.
I completely disagree with her taking her son back there.
Yeah, I do too.
Comes the Lord.
Oh, shit. Oh my God.
You let them go now.
Now, I think if I do, one of them soldiers is going to take my head off.
If they don't, I will.
Over their dead bodies.
Damn.
So you gotta move, bro.
Folks always have a problem with change, but you better get used to it, mister. People like me run this town now. And it's people like you that bring us all down.
This dude.
Hates me. A liar, coward.
Oh no.
A liar, coward in my grave. Oh, to be torn twixt love and duty. Supposing I lose my fair hair beauty. Look at that.
Drop the damn soap.
Move along, near in high noon. He made a vow.
Well, he just created a war for his family in that area now. He got shot. Wait. No.
No.
Oh.
It looked like someone, was
Right, it
falling
did for
down.
a sec, right?
I don't know what that shot was about.
It's gonna be all right. I'll talk to the committee. Get this fixed. There'll be no more bother.
I caught sight of my face in that shop window when I was running down the street and dragging them poor kids behind me. I don't think it really matters anymore when I'm back in Annie Bay looking round.
You have no choice. You know they're gonna come for you, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And this time, they'll send somebody serious.
Oh no.
How's your mother and son?
Oh my God. What happened?
Will you ask in there for my daddy, please?
Point out who he is.
Barbara says no. He goes, do you have any bread? Excuse me.
Oh no.
It's his pops. Yeah.
Can you pass me a tissue, please? Thank you.
It was good to see him one last time.
All right. Well, you're all right. Yeah. Take that note up to Mrs. Hewitt and get the wee message for your granny, for her nerves. Come on.
He was very popular. And he owed half of the money.
He used to help me with my maths.
He He was a very deep thinker.
For when I was a child, I spake as a child. But rather, say in thankfulness you are grateful he was here.
I like that. I love that. I love that they're like celebrating.
Yeah.
You know? Like they're celebrating his life. That's so cute. Why can't people be like this?
Music's not about everlasting love anymore. It's about WAP.
Disgusting. I was born in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Take me back.
Look at this cute little suitcase. What could he possibly have in there?
His little toy trucks.
Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Aw.
Thanks. Thanks.
This is so awkward.
I'll come back. Make sure you do. Cheerio.
That was their last interaction.
That's just real, though. It's just how kids are, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think me and that wee girl have a future?
Why the heck not?
You know she's a Catholic.
Oh.
That wee girl can be a practicing Hindu, or a Southern Baptist, or a vegetarian Antichrist. But if she's kind, and she's fair, and you two respect each other, she and her people are welcome in our house any day of the week. Does that mean you and me have to start going to confession?
Confessions are rough, let me tell you. Man, this is brutal. It's just her. Oh, could you imagine your husband dies and then your family leaves and you know why they have to leave, but...
Yeah.
I can't keep my eyes closed for a sec.
For the ones who stayed. Oh. That was really nice. Really painful.
Painful. That's the best.
But in a beautiful way, you know what I mean?
It was beautiful.
I mean, all the relationships were so lovely. They got a fantastic kid to play that role because he
did really well.
He killed.
Normally they're not that good. I feel like, you know.
I don't know. Haley Joel Osment, Sixth Sense.
Hey. Those are OGs.
It's just interesting because this 6-year-old, I mean, I don't know how old the kid is, but he carried the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, great supporting cast, great direction, awesome writing in terms of just like, you know, this sort of slice of life in this pocket of time. It's very interesting. Just allowing us to kind of just be with this family and feel part of it for that, like for this little window. As they try to decide what to do during this chaotic period of conflict, whether to abandon all of these roots that have been established well before you were born, you know? And there's like a comfort in that. It's a warm blanket for like emotionally, mentally.
Yes.
You know, like you can count on that. You know, you can lean on that neighbors, plural.
Yeah, but all the neighbors, they're family.
Exactly.
They grew up with you from child, like they know you.
When you move to a big city, it's like you kind of isolated, you know? It's like
you don't have that community.
You don't have that community, and she's well aware of that somehow, even though she's been there her whole life. But she's put in a wild predicament where she doesn't have much of a choice with all the violence going on. She's got to protect her family. And it took nearly losing her family for her to see that. The ending was really nice because it's like there's no right or wrong way. If you stay, it makes sense. If you go, it makes sense. Yeah. Even though the film's black and white, the answers are not. You know, it's very interesting.
Oh, you just became like so wise. I like that. Ooh. Oh my gosh. But I also feel like people overseas now are still more family oriented versus us here in the States. Because when I went to...
You still have small towns everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, okay, Texas, I guess, would be similar to this. Like, countrysides have more of, like, that family and community-based kind of relationships where, like, okay, here in LA, California, it's not so much...
No.
You know what I mean?
No, LA is a big city.
Because, like, even when you travel around the world, right? Like, okay, when I went to Portugal... or when I went to Scotland and stuff like that, everybody knows everybody. And you do feel that warm, loving, like family dynamic that you don't necessarily get out here.
Right. And it just depends where you're at. I mean, like, for instance, you said Texas, right? So it's like in Austin is kind of in the middle because it's a big city, but it's also like, it seems tight. People are very, very kind to one another and they seem like they take care of each other out there. I don't know because I don't live there, but that was my experience when I was out there. Whereas I imagine Dallas might be the opposite. It's a bigger city as far as I understand.
It is bigger. Okay, so I have family out there. And that's the only reason why I brought up Texas.
Okay.
And my older sister lives in a small little town, Winsboro, Texas, like 2 hours away from Dallas.
Yeah.
And they're all very, very tight. You know, everybody kind of looks out for
2
everybody.
2 hours away from Dallas.
Away from Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes, but I also have family that live in Dallas.
Okay, how's that?
And it's not necessarily the same.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
so you are right on that.
Yeah.
But honestly do feel though, even in Texas or like even places like Michigan, right? Michigan has like, they have like a little bit more of that tight dynamic. It's still a little different than overseas.
Yeah, I mean, I just came back from Spain, and Spain feels a lot like Los Angeles. It feels like everyone kind of keeps each other at a distance, and it's not really tight knit, you know. But that's my experience as an American, and they might not be too keen to have foreigners there, American foreigners in Barcelona, you know.
Yeah.
My impressions of Ireland, because when I went there, I was meeting up with an Irish friend, and she actually is the one that recommended me this movie. And my impression of Ireland that she gave me is that it is very tight knit, and it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Because the thing is,
everybody knows all your business.
Yeah, like there's a positive and a negative to it. Like the positive is there's that community, right? The other side of it that can be negative is that if you have ambitions, like Colin Farrell had ambitions to become an actor, that was her example. They don't care about your ambitions. They kind of knock you down. And it's like they don't care how big you are. They will still kind of talk shit to you and knock you down. This is, of course, one account from one individual. So she doesn't represent all of Ireland. But it was just interesting to hear her perspective on things. And so seeing this gives me, stronger insight into as to like how you eventually end up with stuff that I saw in Dairy Girls, in the 90s. I really want you to watch that show because I think you'll like it a lot because it touches on like the aftermath of this into the 90s.
Okay.
But like from a comedic perspective.
Okay.
It's really, really beautiful. This is a really beautiful film. I think Kenneth Branagh is excellent. He's got one of my favorite lines in movie history, which is, "Did that guy look like he knew karate?" It was from a movie called Dead Again. It was awful. Not the movie. The movie was great. It's just that line was so bad.
That just stuck with you.
Yeah, it just stuck with me. It was like, even as a kid, I'm like, why was that the line? Did that guy look like he knew karate? But anyway, Kenneth Branagh is obviously a classically trained, Shakespearean thespian, got a lot of great work out there. I forgot that he was part of this. And so it makes a lot of sense. The choice to keep the camera still a lot was interesting. It was like, we're just going to allow the actors
to do their thing.
To do their thing. There's so much of what you see today is like constantly, we got to keep the audience engaged, we got to keep them, it's got to be high energy all the time. And this was the total antithesis of that. It's like, it was very simple in its approach. It just wanted to tell a good character story.
And they did.
Yeah. The acting felt,
I felt like I was part of the family.
Yeah.
I felt like it was so believable and so real.
Yeah.
That I was like, what are we doing, guys? Like...
Yeah. Yeah. No, for those of you that don't know, I'm half Asian, half Italian. Growing up with my Asian family is a wildly different experience than when I go and visit my Italian family. Because my Asian family, it's like, it kind of feeds into the stereotype a little bit. They are not like cold, but they're not like warm like my Italian family, if that makes any sense. Like when I go see my Italian family, it's like, oh my God, it's like
they're more touchy.
Yeah, they're more touchy.
Yeah.
They embrace you, and it's like it feels tight. Even though that wasn't exactly the behavior here, it's like that's sort of what I recognize in terms of that community. You know, they like you feel that kind of familial connection, and like the relationship between him and his granddad. It was beautiful. It was like so cool to see that the way the grandpa treated him and was kind of giving him just these random gems that you know he's going to keep with him for the rest of his life.
Yes.
One of Achara's favorite sayings is, later on the pennies will drop, meaning like you'll hear this information, this data, for lack of a better word, and later on it will compute and it'll make a lot more sense. You know, there are certain things my dad told me as a kid that later on I'm like, oh, that's what he was talking about. It makes so much more sense now. And it just sort of finds its way into your consciousness again later on, 10, 20, 30 years later. It's the weirdest thing. You know?
Yes.
But yeah, I thought it was very measured in its approach. It was great.
This is literally the exact same dynamic and like family bond that I felt when I went to Scotland and stayed with the family. Like there's a...
Yeah, me too.
I was like seeing somebody out there and whatever, and like I absolutely loved their family.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I felt so loved.
Yeah.
And I felt like such a connection. Like, and you could sit there and I would talk to his dad and we would have these deep, long conversations, and he was just so loving, so sweet, even with his mother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever really experienced that.
Yeah.
In that manner.
Yeah.
And so when I was watching this, it just made me think of that. I was like, man, I love them. I love them so much and I miss them, you know? And you're just kind of like, it's so beautiful.
I spent time in Scotland as well. Achara's sister is married to a guy who's Scottish. And so Achara invited me out to just hang with them one Christmas because I didn't have anybody else to hang with. this lonely dude. She's like, we're going to go to Scotland. I'm like, okay, cool. I've never been. And we hung out at her brother-in-law's family's house. And it's exactly how you're describing it. Very tight-knit family.
It's warm.
Very warm. Yeah.
It's comfortable.
Very kind. Obviously, this is like one account that I'm referring to. I didn't stay at a bunch of people's houses, just this one. But they were very cool to me, you know, and I ate all their snacks. they probably
they have tasty snacks there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, but it's interesting too because he touched base on that. How out here is very different. And then when I went there to his hometown, you could see. And when you walk out the door, and like I said, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
You mess up, everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when I was there, they talked about the weather a lot. Oh, how's the weather? You're like, oh, we're talking about the weather again?
In Scotland?
Yes. They talked about, they have small talk. They do a lot of small talk.
Yeah, the weather's
which is kind of funny.
It's awful, especially during Christmas.
It was cold, but it's funny because you sit there and I'm like listening to what the wife is saying. When you are brought up around that dynamic of like love and community, and then you no longer have it, I think going from that to not having it is harder than going from never having it or having slightly this to the other. You know what I mean? Just watching this, I was just like, wow, that's like a lot of things are, you start clicking.
That monologue she gave in the bus right before he took off was great too. Like what you're talking about. That scene was powerful. And it's another example of where Kenneth Branagh just allowed her to be. Camera was locked off on her and it did not cut for a long time.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's a shock to the system, and it takes courage, I think, in this day and age to do something like that where you might have shot it that way, but to then commit to that in the editing, it's like that takes courage to trust the material and trust your talent, trust the story you've decided to tell with such confidence that you're like, the audience will be fine if I just leave the camera here and don't cut away. It'll be fine.
I feel like it made it way stronger than if they were to cut. I think it was a very brave move as well.
There was another moment with after the grandpa passes away, and the father is talking to his son.
About the math, how he was saying,
exactly.
Right? Yep.
And it stayed on the father. And it was the first time we really got a proper shot of the father, and like he's going through something. I wouldn't be able to articulate exactly what beat for beat what he was thinking, but I could feel what he was feeling. And it was very interesting. It was like this vicarious experience.
The moment I think he sat there, his son said, he used to help me with my math.
Yeah.
Hit him so hard because he hasn't been around. He was always gone and working. I think in that moment he was just like, oof.
Yeah.
My father was always there.
Yeah.
He was always looking after my child, but also my dad did that for me too. You know what I mean? So it's almost like my father gave you a similar upbringing as me. you know? And then he cracks that joke of he's always really good at I was like,
I really tried to wrap my head around the mom's action to bring her little boy back to that store that she knew was fraught with chaos.
Honestly, I see what she's trying to do. But at the same time, I think maybe with all the chaos, this is the only way I can understand it. With all the chaos that was happening.
You get accustomed to it.
Huh?
You get accustomed to it.
No, I don't think she's accustomed to it. I think in that moment, especially because the father previously, the day before, was like, you did such a good job raising them, right? I think that kind of hit her deep, but not only that, with all that chaos happening, in that moment, she was like, I don't even care what's happening. You are not going to follow these people. You're better than this, and I'm going to take you back and make a statement. But I think she was also caught up in the moment of, no, I refuse to let you go down this path.
Yeah.
And, she got lost in the process of the reality, how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
It was more of, you're going to learn, and you're going to learn today.
That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
That's how I saw it, because I can understand why a mother would do that. I feel like that's something I might actually would have done and made you go right back to the scene and say you're sorry and say, no, you put it back. You're better than all this. I understand this is happening. It doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was a brave and bold move for her to do. And then afterwards, I think the reality hit and she was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I want my child to be such a good human being, regardless of what the world's doing. I don't want you to be a follower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that was very courageous of her, and also
stupid. Yeah.
Also stupid. And then I think in that moment she woke up and was like, oh my gosh, why did I feel the need to teach this lesson in that manner?
Yeah.
And I think the reason is I personally would have done it just because in that moment it's so crazy. You're like, absolutely not. Like, you're going to remember this moment forever.
That's a very valid take. I assume that it had something to do with the fact that you're so acclimated to this chaos that's happening all the time that you don't even perceive the threat sometimes. And then this Cillian Murphy motherfucker guy shows up and you're like, oh, it got real. He's got a gun and he's threatening my child's life. That's not good. Hit hard there. And she finally saw what her husband was seeing.
Yes.
That's a very human thing, I suppose.
Because it will also goes back to her saying, these people know us.
Yeah.
These people will protect us. These people look out for us. Yeah. And the same people they grew up with just turned their back on her.
At the very least, they weren't there in that moment to help her. And
no, not the people. I'm saying the man who took her, that man grew up with her husband.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The same people, she knew them. They all knew each other.
Yeah.
And yet,
for years.
He's still, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's, for me, it was like, okay, everything she just said, we look out. I think in her brain, it was, they will never do that to us. This will never happen. It will only get so far, but not by the people that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And, so there was that too, I think.
That guy who played for all intents and purposes, the villain in the movie, he was really good. He wasn't in the movie that much if you think about it. He showed up when he needed to.
And he wasn't over the top.
But he did just enough that he felt like a threat.
Yeah.
He had a very strong presence about him. And so that was really good casting for him. But again, I gotta say, that boy killed it, man. Obviously, Judi Dench, and forgive me for not remembering the actor's name, but he did a great job as well. Like, across the board, they did a great job. But that kid, she just stole my heart. He was just so genuinely just pure and innocent, and you felt everything he was feeling, and you identify it, you get it.
And the way his wheels would just work, and I feel like the bond between him and the grandfather, you can see the way they think and their mentality was so similar.
Yeah.
And I feel like he got it from him,
I wonder if that kid even comprehends the impact that his performance has on people. There's no way he knows. But anyway,
I loved it.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging with us. Hopefully you enjoyed that reaction and discussion. Please let us know your feelings. I'm Jaby Kristen. This is
Kristen STEPHENSONPINO.
Peace out.